Luck significantly influences success, and the place where a player is selected in the NBA draft can have a substantial impact on their career. In this video, we will discuss NBA athletes who are unfortunately associated with underperforming teams and whose skills clearly surpass the achievements of their respective teams. Oscar Robertson. Oscar Robertson was a standout NCAA scorer and was selected as the first overall pick by the Cincinnati Royals, now Sacramento Kings, in the 1960 NBA draft. Despite his impressive performance, his team struggled to make the playoffs, even though there were only a few teams in the league at the time. In subsequent years, Robertson continued to excel, achieving near triple-doubles and earning MVP honors in 1964. However, his team faced playoff disappointments and lacked strong support players and consistent coaching. In 1970, he was traded to the Milwaukee Bucks, where he won a championship. Despite being a top guard of the 1960s, Robertson's time with the Royals was marked by limited playoff success, contrasting with his individual achievements. Pete Maravich. Pete Maravich entered the NBA in 1970 after a remarkable college career at LSU. Despite achieving enduring scoring records, like a 44-point season average, his LSU team never reached the NCAA tournament. This pattern continued when he was picked by the Atlanta Hawks as the third overall selection. An exceptional ball handler and scorer, known as Pistol Pete, he averaged 25 points per game during his four-season tenure with the Hawks. Despite earning 2 All-Star selections, the team only managed to make the playoffs but struggled to progress beyond the first round. Following 4 years, Maravich was traded to the expansion team New Orleans Jazz, which had just become an NBA franchise. Throughout his 5 years with New Orleans and a partial season in Utah, the Jazz never achieved a positive win-loss record, and Maravich didn't experience playoff action. Despite earning 3 All-Star selections, maintaining a 25-point average, and securing a scoring title, he was traded to the Boston Celtics in 1980. The Celtics, led by Larry Bird, would go on to win 3 championships in the 1980s. However, Maravich's career was cut short due to knee issues, leading to his retirement after a brief stint with the Celtics. This denied him the opportunity to attain championship success. Kevin Garnett. Garnett's unwavering loyalty and persistent never-give-up mindset significantly contributed to his success, but it also played a role in limiting his NBA championship victories. Entering the NBA directly from high school in 1995, he quickly became a dominant force on both offense and defense. Known as the Big Ticket, Garnett possessed a unique skill set, being athletic, versatile, and adept at guarding various positions. During his prime, Garnett was arguably the league's most versatile player, earning the MVP award in 2004. However, his individual brilliance wasn't matched by team success. Despite his efforts, the Minnesota Timberwolves, his team at the time, faced challenges due to poor decisions in free agency and struggled in the playoffs. They only reached the conference finals in 2004 and couldn't progress beyond the first round in consecutive years. In 2007, after showing unwavering loyalty for 13 years, Garnett sought a change and requested a trade. Joining forces with Ray Allen and Paul Pierce in Boston, he quickly won an NBA championship and made another finals appearance. Garnett admitted that he should have joined the Celtics earlier, as he found new purpose and success with the team. Although Garnett joined the Celtics at 31, still in his prime, his best years seemed to be left behind in Minnesota. If his career had aligned differently, perhaps playing for the Spurs alongside Tim Duncan, Garnett might have been hailed as the greatest power forward. This perspective highlights the impact of circumstances on players' legacies. LeBron James. James will be remembered for his role in assembling super teams and shifting the balance of free agency towards players' control. He achieved remarkable success by securing 4 NBA championships with 3 different teams. His legacy as a winner is now undeniably established. However, it's important to acknowledge that LeBron spent a significant portion of his career with underperforming teams, leading him to create a super team. During his initial 7-year tenure with the Cavs, the team relied heavily on LeBron, particularly evident in 2007 when he carried them to the finals. Notably, he scored the final 29 out of Cleveland's 30 points in the decisive Game 5 against Detroit. In subsequent years, he repeatedly propelled the Cavs to the finals largely on his own, especially in 2015 and 2018 when key teammates were injured. Conversely, in 2019, his absence due to injury resulted in the Lakers missing the playoffs due to their inability to secure enough wins. Summing up, for about a decade, LeBron was surrounded by mediocre teams that would likely have struggled without his presence, underscoring his rightful place on this list. Tracy McGrady. Tracy McGrady's career can be succinctly described by a few key phrases, primarily revolving around his struggles with injuries and unfortunate timing. Coming directly from high school to the NBA, McGrady began to shine, notably alongside his cousin Vince Carter in Toronto. However, he made a change by moving to Orlando, where he intended to team up with Grant Hill, an elite small forward and perennial all-star. Unfortunately, Hill's severe ankle injury deteriorated to the point of almost requiring amputation. This resulted in Hill only playing 47 games over 4 years alongside McGrady, who often single-handedly led the struggling Magic to the playoffs. Despite his individual excellence, in 2004, when McGrady secured his second scoring title, Orlando had the NBA's worst record. Upon joining Houston, he had a stronger team, but injuries to both McGrady and Yao Ming prevented significant success. Notably, McGrady didn't win a playoff series until 2013 when he spent most of his time on the bench. Mitch Richmond. Mitch Richmond was a key member of the famous Run TMC Warriors, alongside Tim Hardaway and Chris Mullin. Despite achieving success with a conference semifinals win in 1991, Richmond was traded to Sacramento after just 2 seasons. He spent 7 years with the Kings, making 6 All-Star appearances and averaging 23 points per game. However, despite his efforts, the Kings only reached the playoffs once during his tenure, losing in the first round. Following his time in Sacramento, Richmond moved to Washington where he remained productive for 3 years, but again missed out on the playoffs. Throughout his 13-year career, he maintained a 21-point average but only made the playoffs 3 times, with 2 second-round exits being the highlight. It wasn't until he joined the Lakers at the age of 35 in 2002 that he won an NBA championship, although his playing time in the playoffs was limited, including just 4 minutes of play. Dominique Wilkins. During the 1980s and early 1990s, when it was uncommon for stars to request trades, Dominique Wilkins stood out. He was closely associated with the Atlanta Hawks, remaining with the team for an impressive 12 seasons. Throughout this period, he secured 9 All-Star selections, won the scoring title, and earned 7 All-NBA honors. Wilkins was renowned for his exceptional scoring abilities and captivating playing style. However, his postseason accomplishments didn't match his regular season success. Despite his efforts, the Hawks faced repeated setbacks in the playoffs. They were halted in the second round on 3 occasions, faced first-round exits 6 times, and even missed the playoffs altogether 3 times during his 12-year tenure. Despite his stellar average of 26.4 points per game in Atlanta, the team's performance often didn't fully capitalize on Wilkins' remarkable talent. Before we continue, I'd like to introduce you to a betting site. Give 1xBet a try. You can use the promo code JCSports to receive up to 7,800 bonus credits on your initial deposit. The registration link can be found in the comment section. You can use GCASH, PAYMAYA, and GCash Direct for convenient transactions. Sharif Abdurrahman. The 3rd overall pick by the Vancouver Grizzlies in the 1996 NBA Draft, was chosen ahead of notable players like Kobe Bryant, Steve Nash, and Ray Allen. Despite these later selections proving more impressive, Abdurrahman showcased his abilities. As a 6'9" power forward, he maintained impressive averages of 20 points, 9 rebounds, and 3 assists during his initial 8 seasons. However, he found himself on some of the NBA's weakest teams. Throughout his time with the Grizzlies, they never achieved more than 23 wins in a season during his 5-year tenure. He later moved to the Atlanta Hawks, where he earned 1 All-Star selection, yet the Hawks also struggled to maintain a winning record. A similar scenario occurred when he played for Portland. Unfortunately, injuries hindered his productivity, although he did manage to finally reach the playoffs with the Sacramento Kings in 2006. Ray Allen. Renowned for his exceptional shooting skills, solidified his place among the NBA's premier shooters. However, despite reaching the conference finals with the Bucks in 2001, the majority of his prime was spent with underperforming teams. During his 6-year stint in Milwaukee, he encountered mixed playoff results. While averaging 20 points per game, he faced 3 playoff absences, along with 2 first-round exits. A turning point came when he was traded to the Seattle Supersonics midway through the 2003 season. This move occurred during a transitional phase for the Sonics, post the Gary Payton and Shawn Kemp era. Although Ray Allen displayed his scoring prowess, the lack of meaningful results was evident, marked by just one winning season and 4 missed playoff appearances. Over his initial 11 NBA seasons, Ray averaged 22 points per game but only secured 4 playoff berths, which seemed inadequate given his exceptional talent. Zach Randolph. Zach Randolph was drafted by the Blazers in 2001, entering a team with experienced players that limited his playing time during his initial 2 seasons. Despite this, the Blazers managed to reach the playoffs in those years, an achievement Randolph wouldn't experience again until 2011. Starting from the 2003 to 2004 season, he became a starter and consistently averaged 20 points and 10.5 rebounds for the next 8 years, across stints with Portland, the Knicks, the Clippers, and Memphis. Unfortunately, regardless of the team he played for, they struggled, none of them had a winning record, and he missed the playoffs year after year during his prime. It wasn't until the grit and grind era with the Grizzlies, when Randolph was already in his 30s, that he finally had his moment to shine. Despite his age, he won his first playoff series during that period.
All bets on sports! The energy flows! The team is on fire! The victory is coming! 1xBet, this is your victory!